Today I'm making casserole for dinner. Squash casserole to be exact. This is going to be good. It's one of my favorites. So I'm starting off with 2 medium to large yellow squash, and I'm slicing that up. In a cold pan or small pot, I'm going to add 3 slices of bacon that I chopped. I'm going to turn on the heat, and then I'm just going to cook it and render out as much bacon fat as possible. So once the bacon is cooked like this, I'm going to set that aside in a small bowl. I'm also going to save part of this rendered fat for later use and leave the other half in the pot, because now I'm going to saute a little bit of onion. This is probably like 3 tablespoons of chopped onion, and just saute until everything becomes fragrant, aromatic, and slightly translucent. Now I'm going to add all of my sliced and chopped yellow squash. I'm going to add like a half teaspoon of salt. I'm eyeballing, and you'll want to saute that. Once it looks like this, you see how it's kind of sauteed and sort of wilted down. I'm going to set it aside in a bowl. Here I have about 2 tablespoons of butter. I'm going to melt that in the same pot. I didn't even wash the pot. And now I'm going to sprinkle in 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. And I'm going to create a roux, because I'm going to do essentially a bechamel sauce. So I'm going to combine that, and I'm going to let the flour and butter cook for like a minute. Now I'm going to add 1 cup of whole milk, and you'll want to add a pinch of salt or salt to taste. And just let that simmer until it's thickened like this. And I'm working with like a medium-low heat. You don't want to burn or boil this. Okay, I'm going to shred around 3 ounces of sharp cheddar cheese. And for the topping, I'm going to crush 12 crackers. These are those Ritz buttery crackers. And I'm just going to add 12 into this bag. And I'm going to crush them because I'm going to mix part of that cheese with the crushed crackers to top this casserole. So in a bowl, I'm adding the crackers and now the cheese. Again, half of the cheese goes in. And remember that rendered bacon fat? That's going in this as well. It's so that it gets kind of toasty and brown as it bakes. Just 1 tablespoon works. You could also add melted butter and just give that a really good mix. This is going to be the topping to the casserole. The sauteed squash has set, and you'll notice it has collected a lot of the moisture. You'll want to just remove that, because now what I'm going to do is mix everything together and put it in a baking dish. Okay, so I have my sauteed cooked squash. I'm going to season. You can add a pinch of salt. Here I'm going to add that bacon that we cooked. I'm also going to add pepper and that bechamel sauce, or that little cream sauce. That goes right into the bowl. Here I'm going to add the cheese, or the rest of the cheese, the other half, and just give that a mix. And you'll notice this squash casserole, because I make different variations, this one does not call for mayo. The other casserole that I've done in the past, I've added some mayonnaise in it and made it a bit different, but this is kind of like my favorite way to make it now. Okay, so in a small baking dish that's been buttered, I'm adding that mixture and now the topping. And you'll want to preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to bake this uncovered for about 25 minutes at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. So for dinner, I'm going to serve this with a side salad. And I'm just going to add that right onto a mix of lettuce leaves. And it's simple, but for the simple salad, I'm going to make a really delicious vinaigrette. So in a jar, I'm adding 1 clove of crushed garlic. Here I'm adding the juice of half of a large lemon. It's a couple of tablespoons. Really, I like to eyeball my vinaigrette. I'm used to doing that. I'm going to add a couple tablespoons of Dijon mustard and some crushed red pepper flakes. Here I'm going to add some red wine vinegar, maybe like a tablespoon, some salt to taste, and now olive oil. probably around 3 tablespoons to 1/4 cup, and just give that a really good shake and emulsify it like this. So my casserole is done. I'm going to remove it from the oven and check this out. It's perfect. It takes about 25 to 30 minutes in a preheated oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And this is dinner. So I'm going to pour over this vinaigrette onto the salad, which is my favorite. And now I'm going to serve. And this is enough to serve like 2 to 3 people. And I know there's like not a main star like chicken or beef, but this is a great dinner in my house. And here's my plate for dinner. It's so simple, comforting, and satisfying. It's really good. So I hope you give this recipe a try. I hope you like it, and thanks for watching.